Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Samson Lee coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Wow, very excited to be here on this Empowerment Tuesday or Wednesday morning. If you're in Asia or Australia, welcome everybody. Today we have an amazing empowerment session with three beautiful and dynamic individuals. I can't wait to introduce them. So let's welcome our guests. Our three amazing leaders. Please turn on your camera. First, we have with us Leanne Hayden from New Hampshire. Next, let's see, where's everybody? There you are. Okay, sorry, I had to turn the screen. I couldn't see anybody. But next, we have Gail Elliott from, where are you from again, Gail?
Texas.
Texas, yes, the great country of Texas. Oh, I mean, state, right? It's big enough to be a country, right? And then we also have Lori Ferraro. Hello, Lori. Where are you coming to us from today?
Hi, good to see everybody. I'm zooming in from Idaho.
All right, Idaho. Oh, one of my favorite places. One of the most beautiful states in the country. So, welcome everybody. And today we're going to have a fantastic session. We want to talk today about piquing interest and inviting and to showcase the products and the business. And, as I was chatting with these three beautiful ladies a little bit before we started, they all have very diverse background. So before we get started, let's go ahead and get to know them a little bit. Let's start with Lori. Lori, can you share with us your background?
Sure. So my husband, Greg, and I, we've been married for 30 years. We've also been in the industry for 30 years. We have 2 daughters, 2 son-in-laws, and a new little baby grandson. He's 9 months old. So we are just enjoying the heck out of him. We love this industry. We got married very young. We were young and struggling. Found this at an early age, like I said, 30 years ago, and it has completely changed our life. It's changed our way of thinking. It's been an amazing vehicle, and we get very passionate about sharing it with others.
Wow. Congratulations on all your successes. I mean, 30 years is quite a career. And you I don't know. I don't know if I saw you with your grandchild. I don't know if it was yours or really, that's amazing. You look so young. I guess the products are working, huh?
They're working. That collagen is amazing. They're all amazing.
Great. Thank you. So next, Gail, you have such a bubbly personality. Okay? I like that when I first met you. Beautiful smile. Can you tell us your background?
Yes, thanks so much, Samson, for having me. So I am married. We have 3 children. We have 3 grandchildren. We have a fur grandbaby as well to my 32-year-old autistic daughter. And so when I get T-shirts and stuff made, the dog has to go in there too, right? Just so you know. But I have been in this industry now for 27 years. Absolutely love it. I was working in accounting and bookkeeping and learned really quick that I didn't like having a boss or being tied down to a brick and mortar establishment. So this was the perfect solution for me to be that stay-at-home mom, but yet earn an executive income as I raise my kids from home. So, and now I get to do that with my grandbabies. So they're with me quite often. And that's one of my big bucket lists, is to spend plenty of quality time while I'm on this planet with my family. So it works out perfect for me.
Oh, perfect. You're one of those who fire the boss, right?
Absolutely.
Well, great. Thank you. So, we have Leanne. Sorry, somebody's calling me. The beauty of technology and live, and being live, right? But Leanne, share with us your background.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be here and great to meet everybody. I've been in the industry for 12 years now. I'm married to my husband. We've been together for 22. We blended a family of 5. So we did the little Brady Bunch, pull everybody together and say, here you go, get along. And now we have 2 beautiful grandchildren. I'm a sarcoma cancer survivor, and which also left me in an ostomy for the rest of my life. So I'm very cautious about the products and the nutrition that I put into my body and my family's body. And yeah, it's just really, really good to be here. I was in corporate sales That's what my background was. And then I went to an event. Somebody dragged me to an event and I saw what the potential was of this being a real business. And I was like, I can do that. So I came home and told my husband I was quitting that corporate job and I was going to do this instead.
Oh, wow. What a decision, huh? So, yeah. So now, since you mentioned it, okay, so we're going to get in the topic with you because you just mentioned you got dragged to an event. Oh my gosh, what happened there? Tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, it was almost like I was kicking and screaming. I had been, with the company for a year using the products and I figured, I can get them for free. Let's figure out how to do it for free. Free is always good, no matter how much money you make. And everybody's like, no, you really need to see what this is. And I took a day off of work and I remember grumbling like, I got to take a day off of work, use my personal time. All right, fine, I'll go. And so I went to this event and literally it changed my whole world. I didn't realize that this industry was truly the business that it is. I had that stigma in my head that it was something else. But when I saw the potential, it just shifted everything. And so now it's almost like everybody has to go to an event and you got to see what this really is.
I know, right? And that's a good point because most people before we share with them, they just didn't see what we see. They haven't heard what we've heard. So that's why they don't know what it's about. So let's go to Gail. Gail, so now you've been in the industry for 27 years. Wow. So congratulations. I mean, and you're still smiling.
Right?
I'm just kidding, right? No, but all kidding aside, but look, it takes a certain type of people to succeed, but actually it's not because almost anybody can be successful, right? But as you go out, sharing the product and opportunity, how do you do it? How do you work the business, the initial stage? Let's say, for example, if you reverted 27 years younger, okay? I mean, let's say right now I have a time machine, we get in it, boom, we're 27 years younger, okay? Okay. So back then, when you first got into the industry, how did you do it? Was it a struggle at the beginning?
Oh, was it a struggle? I was on the struggle bus. So, I was super shy. Let me just give somebody out there hope. I was so shy all my life. I would literally hide behind my mom as a kid. They would come first day of school. They had to call my mom to come get me because I was hysterically crying. I could not be away or around other people. True story. But let's fast forward. So my husband signs me up for network marketing. I'm not lying. And I told him if he thought it was so good, he should do it himself because I was so shy. But let me just say, I cut my teeth in that company about 27 years ago now. And I'm so grateful because it did let me grow in increments at a time. I was not the person that came in guns a-blazing, talking to everybody with a pulse. I was very strategic in who I spoke with, and it was definitely my circle of influence. And if you guys haven't been alive long enough to know that 27 years ago, I didn't have a cell phone. When we started, I didn't have a cell phone. It was you picked up the old phone that was connected to the wall and you called somebody and you met somebody at the playground with the kids, or you met somebody from school or from church or, in your community. So yeah, it was definitely a struggle, but I will tell you that I got really fired up. Back then we had these cassette tapes and I would listen to a mentor who was not in any way connected to me in this industry, but I would listen. She had a series of cassette tapes and I'd play them when I was cooking and cleaning and driving and anything that I was doing. I was learning. I was so hungry to serve others, but I knew I had to grow me first, right? Daniel always says, grow me to serve others. And so even back then, didn't really put a name to it, but that's what I was doing is I was steadily growing me so that I could serve others. So I'm just going to tell you, that is the one thing that the shy country girl, what I had going for me was that I was hungry to serve and I knew I needed to learn to do that. And so back then it was definitely connecting through live interaction, meeting people, and nothing like we have today. So today it's like a cakewalk. I mean, no, it's not easy because it takes effort, but you know what? It's definitely different. And it definitely set me up for success because I was willing to do the work on me so that I could reach out and help others.
And you know, that's a very good point, because a lot of people, just like me, when I got into the industry, I wasn't, as a businessman, you know, I've been a business owner for many years in furniture business and real estate and all that, but I didn't have that confidence or vision what's possible. Actually, opposite than you, I wasn't thinking about serving yet. I was thinking about how to make some money. Okay, but I mean, you know, that's the truth, right? But you
Money's good. Money's good. Right up there with there.
But what you say, I know a few other people who are very similar to you that just want to serve, and that's their power. You know, and that's actually a mindset that if we can just convert it, because in business, the more people we serve with goods or services, the more money we make anyway. So, and that's what leads me to Lori. Lori, look, you've been in it for 30 years. Share with us, you know, in your experience, the best practice of how to pique interest and invite. Look, all of us, when we first start the business, we need to make a list of people that, you know, we know and they know us. So, but what do you do to take the first step to start sharing the product and the opportunity?
So I think one of the key things that's so important is keeping it simple. I think as human beings, we tend to overcomplicate things. I think it's just in our nature that we want to say too much or explain too much. And this business, it takes work, as Gail mentioned, it takes work, but it's a very simplistic business. And if we can remember to keep things simple, I think it will keep you calmer. I mean, I remember being new, you know, Gail was talking about being new and being nervous and being scared. And I remember verbally vomiting on people, saying way too much and needing to learn that less is more, you know, less really is more, and having confidence when you speak. And I know, you know, it comes out of my mouth easy. Oh, have confidence when you speak. And you're like, but Lori, I don't have confidence right now. And I understand that because I remember when I didn't have that confidence. So when you don't have the confidence in the beginning, I want to encourage you to step out in courage. If you can step out in courage and think of what is my dream? What do I really want? And put that dream in front of you, because that'll help give you that courage. And the more you step out in courage and the more you talk to people, that confidence is going to come alongside of it. It's just a matter of getting out there and sharing, keeping it simple. And when I pique people's interest, you know, I like to let them know that I'm working on a project and why they caught my attention. Why them? Because everybody that you want to talk to them for a reason. Maybe you really like them. Maybe you know they're a big go-getter. Maybe you know they have a lot of influence in the community. I don't know what it is. You know what it is. And we need to also get better as human beings, I believe, at giving people compliments. You ever think them and you don't say it and you're like, why didn't I say it? Or why didn't I tell him or her? Give them that compliment. You know what? I'm working on a project. And I thought of you because you are just so outgoing. You are so ambitious. I think we have a lot of like-mindedness. And I would love to share with you what I'm doing, because I think you and I could do some big things together. It's just that simple. Now, I know when you're new, it's not that simple. Trust me, it was not that simple for me 30 years ago. I verbally vomit on people. I was nervous. It comes with time and doing it. So in the beginning, I want to encourage you to step out with courage, keep it simple, give people the compliment, and then go from there.
Wow, that's very nice and concise. Beautiful. I hope those of you out there taking notes, okay? So that's a very good, direct way to approach somebody, to pique their interest. Now, Leanne, what about you? How do you share with people?
Yeah. And I'm looking back at the, you know, is when I started and I was in sales. So I was always, and I'm from Boston, the Boston area. So I'm very like in your face. So, and so it was with my friends back in the day. I'm like, oh, we're just doing this together. Like it was just happening. And again, and that's, I mean, that was back in the day 12 years ago. But it is, you know, it is the confidence, you know, like Lori was just saying, and it's, you don't need to know everything. Even though I've been in the industry now for 12 years, I use the tools. I don't talk at all. I tell them, yes, I'm thinking about you because, exactly what Lori said. But then I let the tools do the talking. Like, if I sent you a video, would you watch it? If we could get on a call with my friend Holly, would you do that? So it's if I would you, and I use that term all the time, and I use the tools over and over and over again. And I don't try and do it myself. Even though I could, I just make it easy and seamless so it can be duplicatable through the whole team.
Wow, very smart. And the key is duplication now. And that's a great point, Leanne, because in this business, it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates, right? We all heard that before. So Gail, what about you? How do you share nowadays, having a couple of decades under your belt in the industry? How do you share? Not to age you, but I'm just saying, because you look like you still look like you're 25 or something. So beautiful spot. So how do you pique interest and invite people to
yeah, I mean, I think especially in our platform that we're in, we have amazing training and super grateful. So I want to say hi, Mom, to Amy. She's my mom, and she's my friend that brought me in. So, but the training is phenomenal. And like Leanne said, and Lori, keep it simple, sweetie, but let's make it duplicatable. So for me, I follow the systems that THREE now has currently in place. I'm using the videos and the different tools that we have. What do they say in this industry? Don't be a fool, use a tool. And I don't have to know it all, although I am a maniac on a mission and I can talk geeky science and health and wellness all day long. But I don't want to portray that to my team that they need to be able to do any of the above, because we have incredible tools. So I am all about, when I am piquing interest or I'm asking someone to take a look, this is from my beginning days. I shared with you guys my first company that I cut my teeth on. I still use it to this day. And I ask, is there any reason why you wouldn't be open to take a look? And they have to come up with a reason why they wouldn't be open to take a look. And so that is just something that personally works for me. I like being able to end everything I do in a question. That's another just a tip there when you're inviting, is don't make a statement. Make sure that you're asking a question so that it's like playing tennis. I've hit them the ball and now they're going to hit it back. And if they don't hit it back, you need to know, are they even somebody that wants to play with you or not? And as Daniel always says, the one who serves best wins. And so you want to serve them a tennis ball with a great question, with your personality, your heart. There's great scripts out there. Adopt them and make them your own. Don't be one of these people that say, oh, but that's not my words. Well, say them, then they will be your words. And you'll be able to use them, because I am not going to reinvent the wheel. And I hope you guys will not either. Let's take what is, man, Lori has taught me so much, right? I mean, so let's take from the pros and from the people who have gone before us and make it much easier on ourselves by doing what is laid before us. And we've got the best training on the planet. I promise you, I've been in other platforms. Not lip service. We seriously have the best training and the best leadership on the planet.
Wow, that's great. And you know what? I just learned something today. It's about reverse psychology, right? Tell me, why don't you give me an excuse? Why don't you want to take a look at it? I say, oh, that's a good one, right? Whatever objection they have, or etc. That's a good one. I mean, can I share a little bit too? Okay. Well, I've been in the industry for 17 years, and I'm a business owner. I've been in the furniture business. Used to have 3 stores. I was in real estate. After I made money and lost money, I became an auctioneer. So I don't have any of the baggage with me, right? So I learned to talk really fast.
Give us a sample. Give us a little sample.
No. You have to pay me for that.
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah, just an entrepreneur. But the thing is, for me, it's always it's always been about business with me. So, but what I learned to is to pique somebody's interest. I like to have a conversation first. Now, if you can imagine me, when I first started industry, I never called somebody to get any business, because I was in the furniture business. People came to me. I sit at the store, people came to me. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so afraid to talk to people, right? And Gail talked about using that phone that has a wire on it. That thing was like 700 pounds. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to overcome this, right? So finally, after a year or so struggling, right? What I decided to do was I sit down for 1 hour. And you know what? I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna call 20 people in 1 hour. But to overcome my fear, I say, you know what? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of talking about the business or opportunity because I don't have enough confidence, or I haven't made money yet, right? So what I decided to do was I start calling, and I told myself, okay, I'll just call them and do not talk about the opportunity. So then I'm not afraid, right? But you know what happened? After about 4 or 5 calls, I'm like, oh my gosh, it can be so easy, because when I talk to my friends, it's always about, the latest movie, what they've been up to, how's the job, how's the family, what we're going to do this weekend, and, et cetera. We know how are the LA Lakers doing? Or nowadays it's the Clippers too, right? But that's it. But many times they ask me, so what are you up to, right? So I'm like, oh, it's so easy to slip it in. It's so easy. So what I decided to do is, after working with Kim for 17 years, of course, she's the one who built the $1 billion company. I learned to just pique interest, just getting to know them, find out if they need anything, or if they need a change, or are they open to making more money. So far I haven't found anybody who's allergic to money. But definitely people do have excuses, okay? So I know how they feel, but we kind of have to tell our own stories to invite them to the next step. That's how I kind of invite, just to show. And nowadays I don't even worry about it, because it's just a conversation, right? And it's not for everybody, right? Some will, the 4 SWs, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting next, right? I like the next part with the thumb, next, you're out of here, next, okay. But this industry, I think inviting is important. Now, I want to keep the call short today, because, we don't want to verbal diarrhea on the rest of the people there. So they still need to take notes and absorb what we're talking about. But all of you, I notice definitely you talk about talking less and use the tools. So maybe we can go back to Lori. Lori, when you have somebody who's interested, maybe they need to make more money, they need more time freedom, right? Or they want to be healthy. What do you invite them to?
So there's a lot of ways that you can use tools, and depending on what's going on that day or within that time frame you're at, you can invite them maybe to a Zoom that's going on within your team. You can invite them to a company Zoom. You yourself could do a Zoom and share some information if you're comfortable, or you can use a video. There's so many great videos that you're able to use and share with people. So what I love is that we have a system, because systems produce predictable results. The company has a system in place, and if you use it, you will win. And one of the things when you're talking to people, there's a lot of people, Greg and I have done hundreds of meetings all over different countries. And what we find is, in a room, I'm just going to say a room of 100 people. If I were to say, who in this room has never done network marketing? Consistently, there's about 3 to 5 hands that go up. Consistently, every time we've asked this question. So if there's a room of 100 people and 3 to 5 hands go up, what does that tell you? That tells me that most people are very interested in network marketing. Most people who see it, they love what they see. They see the power of leverage. They see the duplication aspect of it. Now, what happens sometimes is not all companies are created equal. Okay. And sometimes people haven't found the right vehicle. And sometimes people will say, well, I signed up, but the person who signed me up quit, or they dropped the ball, or they wouldn't answer the phone. You guys, there's a system in place that nobody will fall through the cracks unless they want to. So not only talk about what you have to offer, talk about the system that you have to offer, because people want to know that they have something to plug into and they're not just going to be left hanging. People do love network marketing. That's why room after room after room, when I've asked that question, very few hands go up that have never tried network marketing. it is a beautiful way to make money if there's a system in place. Here at THREE, we have a system. Gail is using the system. Leanne's using the system. Samson's using the system. I'm using the system. And I'm sure most of you on here are, and anyone who's new, plug into the system. It works.
That's very good point. That's where we invite them to. That's why we set up the calls, right? On Monday, it's Global Opportunity Call. Tuesday, once they look at the opportunity, they make a decision. You know, usually the Monday call is in the long form. It's not the short form. So it's probably one of those calls that people see maybe the second or third exposure, right? And then Tuesday, after they get started, on Tuesday, they get trained. So, for example, they plug into how to invite today. And then on Wednesday, we talk about Wellness Wednesday. They hear the testimony and the doctor sharing about the science and all that. So they get enrolled into the next phase, and it repeats week after week after week. Perfect. So, and this is the company-wide, aside from the individual leaders and teams having their own events. So Leanne, what when you pick interest and invite, what tools or part of the system you invite people to?
Again, I guess it depends on the day and what their interest is. If somebody's interested in more product, I will point them to, you know, one of Dr. Dan's, you know, product videos, or if it's, you know, coming up on a team Zoom on Sunday nights or our Monday night calls, I talk about, there's a call tonight. Why don't we get on it together? You know, so I'll make sure I get on it so that we're texting back and forth while they're watching it, so that I can answer any questions that they have through that. And sometimes I've even gotten on, you know, a Zoom with somebody because they were open, and I showed them the video while I was on the Zoom with them, just me and them. And I let the actual video, an old opportunity call or something like that, do the talking for me.
Wow, very nice. And so that's how we can talk less, right? Let the tools do more of the talking. Sometimes the like the events, like the webinars or a live meeting, or there's things in there that is beyond the words that attracts people, isn't there? And so let the tools do the work for you. And so what about Gail? When you pique interest and invite, what do you like to invite people to?
I'm very much still enough of the old school that I want to see them. I prefer Zoom. And so I prefer, especially if it's somebody that well, first and foremost, is you're building a relationship with everybody. That is the ultimate goal, is to build that relationship of know, like, and trust, so that they will want to know what it is that you have, and they trust that you're offering something really of value. So I prefer Zoom, and I am quick to do a Zoom myself. If it doesn't work, or if you're new and you're like, but I don't know that I could present, that's okay. Your team and the company, like they've already mentioned, has everything set up so that you can invite them to those Zooms. And then you get to learn how to follow up with that three-way call or three-way text message with your upline or whoever is working with you to help you build. So same thing. I mean, it's nothing new. If you notice, we all use the tools that THREE has offered to us. I love the YouTube channel, the THREE YouTube channel with all of Dr. Dan's stuff on it. So if they're geeky like me, I can just send them there and let them just cut loose. And also on the fact sheets, now they have all of their technical research behind all of the products for those people that are in the medical field. You're going to find a lot of people in the medical field are really wanting to come on board and see what's going on and what's happening, and be part of the movement that brings Western and Eastern medicine together. So it's beautiful, but the tools, guys.
Yeah, that's perfect, because I'm not a doctor. I don't know, is any of us a doctor on here? But we got the doctors talking for us, huh? Don't we? That is beautiful. And you know, it's funny because you know, we are all 6 of our products got into the PDR.net a few weeks ago. And that's the place where all the medical professionals go to find information about drugs and supplements and diagnosis and all that. So it's very powerful. And when I was looking through those clinical studies that you were mentioning in the back office, I couldn't understand half of them. but I know people who do. So those are the things I would show, my friends who are in the medical field, in the wellness industry. So now, so let's wrap up the call, with each one of you. Maybe each one of you can, maybe in a minute or two, say something that we haven't talked about, how to invite. I mean, like, imagine if there's a lot of new people out there. And with the year 2023, how people communicate is different than when we all started in the industry, right? More than a decade or two or three, right? So what kind of advice would you give to somebody who just started new in this industry? What would be the one, there's so many, but one of the most important things that they need to learn to pique interest and invite? Can you give them a hint? Let's start with Lori.
So one of the things that I would say, first, I just want to go back, make sure you have a list and that you're working off of a list. So you want to have your list, be working off that list. And one thing that we noticed a couple of years ago is that people don't answer the telephone as much as they used to, because people have got so used to text messaging. So it used to be people would answer the phone. In the last few years, they don't answer as much. So one thing that I would recommend is leave them a message, a voice message, or send them a voice text. Don't just use a text message. Send them a voice message so that they can hear your excitement, they can hear your enthusiasm, and find out when the soonest they can get on the phone with you is. That's really important, that they hear your voice inflection and they know your excitement, because a text just doesn't come across the same as your voice does.
Wow, very good point. I mean, extremely important, right? So now, Gail, what about you?
So, there's been so many great nuggets, but I am going to say that everybody is a no if you don't ask. And so when you're sitting there pre-judging people and I'll call it pre-qualify them, make sure you like them or don't talk to them. Because you may be sleeping with them at seminar one day or something, at convention. So, but there is really that adage of, if you don't ask, they're a definite no. And I know many times, Samson, you said the phone back in the day, it felt like it weighed hundreds of pounds. That is so true. To this day, I'm just going to be real. To this day, I get nervous. I start sweating when I'm going to call somebody on the phone and talk to them. I still have that old baggage that comes up. And my why am I going to do this is much bigger than my fears that keep me from doing it. And that is one thing that working on our mindset, this isn't the training, but that's where it starts. Before we can invite somebody, we got to work on the 6 inches between our ears. But really understanding that you have something that will bless them, and it's not about you. When you make it all about yourself, when I make it all about myself, it's real easy for me not to reach out. It's easy for me to not make that connection. When in all honesty, I look and go, oh my goodness, look what the products and the company has done for my family. Blessed beyond measure. So it is my duty. It's my I get to offer it to someone else. And my friends, anytime you're afraid to make that step, you need to stop and say, well, I'm only worried about myself. How am I going to look? What are they going to think? Oh, you're in one of those things. Is it a pyramid? I mean, you're already thinking, you're borrowing trouble that's not even happened. So I'm just going to encourage you to just jump with both feet. The training's all out there. I hope that somehow you've gotten some nuggets tonight. The training is all available every single week, all day long on the websites. And so just take massive action and don't be afraid to get the no's. Be a no collector. You're just a decision collector, my friend. You're just going to collect decisions, and whoever's on, wants to play on your team, they can come now. They may come 6 months from now or 6 years from now, but don't not ask them, because that's being selfish and you're making a decision for them.
Wow, I love that. It took me like a year and a half to understand what you just said when I first got into the industry. Oh my gosh, I had to change my head, wrap my head about helping other people. But that's exactly right. When we take ourselves out of the equation and we're not attached to the outcome, wow, you know, I can make 100 calls a day if I need to, you know, that's very powerful. That's great. What about Leanne? What about you? What golden nugget you can drop for somebody today?
Yeah. So, I mean, both the ladies said some great things just right there. But one of the things that you can do is if you are nervous and you don't really, you're trying to get your feet wet and it's your very first time out there, you can invite the people that you know the most. You know, this is when you call your best friend and your family members or whoever else you know the most. And you say, listen, I'm doing something new. This is something that I'm going to have something at my house. And invite them over to the house. You don't have to have a big party or anything else. Say, I'm practicing for my new business. And have them all come over and then show them one of the videos. Practice with the people that you know so that they can, you know, you'll be surprised. I mean, some of them might be like, oh, you're doing that pyramid scheme, and they'll be sending you messages and what are you doing and why are you doing this? And that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But there might be a few people in that group that be like, you know what? I need an extra $400 a month. Or I need a little extra, or I need to have my health a little better. I'm interested in the products, but it gives you an opportunity to practice your skills as you grow.
So you practice as you earn. Yeah. Or you earn as you practice.
Earn as you practice. You earn as you practice.
Well, you know, today it's been a fantastic time with the three of you, and I hope everybody out there, you know, took tons of notes and just realized, look, there's no secret under the sun. I think, you know, as we get the yes and the no, yes and no. We come back, we're probably evaluating our own emotions and feelings and blockages, or like Gail said, for example, is our why big enough to overcome all these stumbling blocks? But let me tell you, if you persist, your check will be way, way bigger than those no's. When there's more zeros than no's, guess what? Right? Is it worth it or not? But, you know, I think at the end of the day, look, I'm very fortunate to be among three amazing women today. And, you know, I want to acknowledge women because versus men, women are very relationship based. And we are lucky to have the three of you, you know, share, because it's this business, it is really about relationship, isn't it? And it's really about building something, I don't know, long term. And all three of you are like that. You want to have, because all of you have confidence, you have credibility, you know what you see here, and you're going to take it and run. And look, whoever comes along, you're going to wrap your arms around and take them. And my 2 cents, my little nugget today would be, if you are brand new, or if you're out there, or if you have struggled in the industry, like I did the first probably, I would say 3 to 4 years. I struggled. I mean, there are people today, first time in the industry, they're like, boom, all the way to the top right away. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I struggled good 3 or 4 years. And during that time, I realized one thing, and this would be my nugget for today, is that you're in the business for yourself, but not by yourself. So I would say, to overcome the very basic step of how to pique interest and invite, grab onto your sponsor. Get 3 phone numbers, your sponsor and 2 other uplines or leaders in your team that can help you, that's accessible to you, to help you do those calls, to ask them to talk for you. If you can invite, let them explain for you. Don't explain, let them do the explaining. So at the end of the day, you are the bridge and they are the messenger. So if they reject the messenger, well, they don't reject you because you are just the bridge. And so, you know, sometimes I remember back then, I would say that when I first got into the industry, somebody told me, I mean, somebody who's a multi-million dollar earner and still today, they say, you know what, if you give somebody 3 exposures to what you have to offer, that should be enough. They should have enough information to make a decision, yes or no. So in my mind, I just thought of it, it's like a pipeline, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So systematically, then I thought, oh, you know what? Okay, that's my logic overcoming the fear. But just be the bridge and bridge in between what you have to offer and where they are today. So find out what they need, bring them to the information. So, but you know, all of us express that today, because in any business, you know, a system is important, A system, it does take people to operate the system. And in this business, as we build a relationship, and just like all three of you expressed today, just talk less, more the system. And it's like Lori says, it's a system has predictable outcome. So for those of you struggling, oh my gosh, those are amazing things that were expressed today on this call. I would say that, among all the other companies in the industry, okay, and we just keep it like that, okay, in our 3 Zoom, the type of leadership, the quality of the leadership here in this company 3 is crazy deep. We have a deep, deep bench. So, look, if you haven't gotten to where you want to be, plug in, and call all your sponsor and your uplines to learn. And do. The more you do, the faster you learn. And the more money you make, the faster you get to where you want. So I want to thank all of our panelists today, Leanne, Gail, and Lori, for their heartfelt sharing as truly heartfelt. And, we look forward to seeing all 3 of you again very soon in the upcoming webinars, okay? So thank you very much, and thank you everybody out there around the world. Let's say goodbye, unmute ourselves, and just wave and say goodbye, everybody. Have a great night, and then we'll look forward to seeing you on the call tomorrow on Wellness Wednesday. Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.